Hello, welcome to Downtime. I'm your host, Bryan Beninghove. We're thrilled to have you here again. So this is a show produced by Riverview Jazz, and we could not do this without our great sponsors, Bank of America, and our longtime partner, Hudson County Office of Cultural Affairs and Tourism Development. So thank you to all of you for making this happen. Well, it is summer 2020. This is our second episode of this. The pandemic is in full swing. All of us musicians are still trying to get by, but don't worry, music was around thousands of years before this, and it will be around thousands of years after this. So we're just going to hang in there. And what we're going to do now is we're checking in with some of our favorite people. Today we're thrilled because we have just one of our favorite people of all time and one of my personal favorites, a fabulous singer, a radio personality and DJ, the founder of the Great Jazz Gallery in New York City, and just an all-around great person to spend any amount of time with. Miss Lezlie Harrison, how are you doing?
I'm groovy, Bryan. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a thrill to see you. How are you holding up?
Well, it's one day at a time, That's how I look at it. Some days I'm just thrilled. I have so many bright ideas. And then some days it's like, really? Is this what's going on? But other than that, I'm doing well,
Well, it is what's going on, but but you have had quite a lot going on this last year. So I wanted to kind of jump in. New album, you got coming out soon. You've been doing a ton of touring. I mean, until March, like everything. But can you tell me about what you've been up to this last year?
Well, this last year, right, I finished my record. I started recording this record. As you know, recording projects some take a little bit of time, some take forever. I'm in the forever category. But I wanted the first project that I did under my own name, my own production with James Brown to be correct. So I finished that. Everything's mastered, mixed. And then I was getting all the stuff together that you do, the artwork and, I had some interviews set up. I had a release party, and then I went off to Bangkok. I had all these things set up, and I came back and I'm organizing some more. I went off to Russia, and then it was like, what? I got back from Russia March 15th. I was supposed to have my record release party March 18th. I was supposed to do a radio interview on that Friday, and it was just like I got back and everything had changed in 2 weeks. Everything. I flew into JFK from Moscow, and I have never come into the airport and seen it so empty on a Sunday night. But just like everything that was in the works just stopped. So it was.
Well, the silver lining though is that you weren't about to record the album. You did. I mean, because that would have been a real drag. Had it been the 18th, you were going in to record it,
Oh my goodness. It was just, and I felt bad. It wasn't that I was complaining. It was just like, what happened? Like everything just stopped. It wasn't just me, all of our friends, our colleagues, it stopped. And it's like, okay, is it me? Why is it that when I have worked so hard to do this and now I can't do what I wanted to do? So I've had to rethink that. But, hopefully on the horizon, on the other side of this, there will be some work, as you said recently in 2028. I look forward to going back to work. But I've been excited because it's been a journey, and I've, finally achieved, getting this record recorded and, under my own name, and boom.
Well, tell me about this record, because I heard it, and it's fantastic. You sound great. And it really has a vibe to me. I feel like I'm in a jazz club and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it just feels, it feels right.
You see, I'm no good without you. Take my lips, I'll never use them. Take my arms, I wanna lose them. Your goodbyes left me with eyes that cry. How can I go on, my dear, without you? You took the pound that once knows my heart. So why not take all of me, all of me? Why not take all of me?
Just tell me about how this album came about. Some of the people in there, the song selection's fantastic.
Yeah, well, you know, I've been working with this concept of the Great American Soul Book. I love a lot of the material from the 70s, soul music, jazz music, gospel music, and I love the organ, the Hammond B3 organ. So it was my concept to do material from the 70s and material that I love. So I've worked for years with Saul Rubin, Ben Patterson, most recently Russell Carter, and I had a little, you know, I lost my aunt and I lost Roy, and in the end of Roy Hargrove at the end of 2018, and I had already scheduled this recording. I said, I'm just going to go in the studio and just record. And then I lost my aunt and I lost Roy, and I said, well, maybe I just won't do it. But I just took 10 hours. I went into the studio, 10 hours. We just laid down all the tracks. We've been rehearsing every week. We were fortunate enough to have a residency. I had a residency at Smoke. So it wasn't that I needed to rehearse a band. I just go in there and just record. I recorded for 12 hours on some other kind of energy, but I did it. And then I wanted to work with the material that I kind of, you know, some of the stuff that I play with you, you know, like what's going on. I recorded about 13, 14 songs.
Put it all in there.
I just put it all in there. And then I called in my one of my best friends, and he's also the producer, my co-producer, James Brown. So he was like, okay, I understand why you had to just get that out. I just went in with the musicians, myself and the engineer, and no one else. And so now we had to, you know, kind of clean it up and decide what goes on, what stays, how to make it sound better. So it's been a labor of love, but it's completed. And now it's all the other stuff that, you know, comes along with doing the record. Because of the pandemic, things have changed. So, okay, the publicist, the art direction, all these things that I had in the works. Now it's like, okay, maybe I'll do my own art direction. Maybe I'll, you know, just, it's just all these variables, but I'm putting it out. I have a date of the end of September 28th.
And you can always follow that by just going to leslieharrison.net. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. LeslieHarrison.net.
With a Z. Leslie.
Don't sleep on me though.
I'm leaving half these jokes out here. Save these for later.
I know you would like that one, Brian. You're the jokester.
Speaking of jokester, I think something just fell behind me, but don't worry, it's all part of the production. So also, you've been a DJ for a number of years at WGBO. I know you're good friends with Darthon Kirk, and you're getting a show, right?
I am getting my own show after all these years. You know, my story with WGBO, I started with them back in the 80s. It was my first job out of college working at WGBO. I started this show called The House Party. Fast forward, I was in my 20s. Life was a little crazy. I wanted to do other things, and I moved off to Paris. But Darthon was always like, you should come back and work at WGBO. Come back and fill in. Come back and fill in. And I just said, okay. And so I've been filling in for about 6 years now. And I like filling in because I'm touring a lot and working a lot, and I didn't really want to be locked down with a show. Not that they had offered me one, but I let it be known, well, now I have lots of time on my hands now. So if you need me more than filling in, so their schedule's been adjusted a little bit to accommodate some other new programming that they're having at WGBO. And so I've got the Sunday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. for all you early risers.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice. So we're, you know, normally you could just stay up, but, you know, I mean, now everybody's going to bed at 10.
Wait a minute. I was thinking, wow, sometimes I would be coming in, like getting up and doing the show at 6 o'clock. It's weird, you know, but yeah, we are going to bed a little bit earlier. It's really been hard to adjust to that.
Well, you know, among other things. I also wanted to, you know, something else that was really instrumental, and the whole New York City music scene. Really, it's really your relationship with Dale and Roy Hargrove and the beginning of the Jazz Gallery. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the Jazz Gallery, it's a different concept. It's a non-profit jazz club that is really all, I mean, it is strictly all about the music. I mean, you can't buy anything there, can you?
You can buy wine.
I know,
you can buy wine.
But that's about it.
But there will be no waitresses coming around and cleaning glasses. And it is strictly a listening room, the Jazz Gallery.
And it's a beautiful thing. I mean, so much great talent has been nurtured there. So many great shows have been there. Can you tell me a little bit about how that started and your relationship with Dale and Roy and about that?
Well, this is our 25th anniversary. So 25 years ago, on August 28th, we opened the doors to the Jazz Gallery. It started out as just a rehearsal space for Roy Hargrove because most places he lived in, he was kind of upsetting the neighbors a little bit with the trumpet playing. And Dale Fitzgerald was Roy's manager, business manager. So anyway, at that time, downtown Manhattan, there was a lot of real estate and it wasn't as expensive. And we got a little place on 290 Hudson Street for Roy to rehearse in. But then Roy started getting really busy and it became the office that Dale would do, take care of Roy's business. But then we had this 1,500 square foot space. And then Dale was always collecting artwork, jazz related artwork. And we had Master's collection. So we thought of this idea of having a jazz gallery, no music involved, just the gallery. And occasionally we would have music when we had an opening for an exhibit. But then we got the piano from Bradley's, and Dale being an anthropologist and traveling a lot and seeing like a lot of the young musicians now, he's traveling with Roy around the world. And a lot of them wanted to come to New York to have a place where they can come, and not just a place where they just get a gig, to have a place where we could nurture the youngest generation of jazz musicians to find a place as composers, as arrangers, and to really nurture their music. So that was the concept, and the Jazz Gallery kind of morphed into that. And Roy being of that generation of young musicians that were really influencing a lot of cats, it was just a natural fit that he would be a part of that. So here we are 25 years later, still nurturing young musicians. And we never really wanted it to be a club, where it's, it's a scene. We really wanted it to be a listening space and more of like an institution, Dale being the anthropologist. Right.
No, it's beautiful. And what's interesting now is just looking at that in a different angle, and a lot of conversations I'm having privately with a lot of different people right now is these clubs, I mean, it's going to be really hard. I mean, the next couple of years are going to be, it's probably not going to be good, just to put it lightly. So everybody's looking at these different models. I mean, you have Clements Place now, it kind of does some stuff over in Newark. We have a couple little things here and there, with Riverview Jazz that we do, but this nonprofit angle of something that's strictly about the music, we're going to see how this is going to go forward, because it's going to be harder with the rents and everything else
because the drinks, alcohol really fuels a lot of, the music is wonderful, but it's also about the hang. And so, I mean, the Jazz Gallery is kind of set up for that. Unfortunately, like everyone else, we can't have any people in the space yet, but we are now doing streaming live once a week, which a lot of the clubs are doing now, streaming. It's a different way of approaching the music, but cats get to work, and we get to keep, at least the brand going of the Jazz Gallery. Right. And I'm sure everybody is we're all just trying to make something out of nothing, a way out of no way. Yeah. like yourself. This is a wonderful platform. So thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you. I thought you were going to go a different direction there with that one. But when you said making something out of nothing, I was like, story of my life. But I kind of want to wrap this up here, but I want to wrap it with some kind of a parting thing here, because Lezlie, we've known each other quite a long time. Yeah, quite a few years. before I could even grow a beard. But so you're somebody that was in the scene at Sweet Basil, in the scene at Bradley's, in all these scenes, like as a fan and someone on the scene. You're also looking at the music as a DJ, a WBGO, someone that curates. Then the Jazz Gallery, getting involved with bringing up young talent. And now, I mean, now you've always been singing, but you know, but really stepping up to the next level is a high quality performer. You're looking at jazz music and just music in general in a lot of different angles. What are some of the lessons or things that have kind of shaped your relationship with music at these different angles of looking at something? I don't know if that's a fair question or not, but
you know, I won't say I wandered into, you know, my love affair for jazz kind of took me down these paths that I didn't plan on going. I'd never planned on being a radio announcer, but my life in college led me to work at WGBO, which led me to be able to go out and hang out on the music scene so I could be more knowledgeable about the music, which led me to be around all kinds of musicians and other artists, you know, visual artists and writers who make up this wonderful scene, as well as, you know, bankers and those important people. But it is kind of interesting to be behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. I might be a little bit more critical of myself because, like, I know, you know, when I hear a record, now I'm doing my own record and I'm thinking, okay, I have to, you know, make sure that the DJ can read the print on the CD, just for example, or the spine has to be so big so I can at least see it in the library so I can pull it out. So I have to think about that. Like the first notes have to capture the audience. So I'm a little bit more critical of myself, but I'm immersed in this music on all levels of it. And I'm just growing from it. And I, like yourself, we find ourselves in a situation, we make it do what it do, as they say. And hopefully we're doing it to make it better and make it more accessible to people.
well, we're certainly not doing it for the money, are we?
I'm not rich. We are no. And that's the other thing. It certainly is about the love of this music, because I can tell you, working for not-for-profit, and then, you know, and I work for public radio, and I work in jazz.
Yeah. You got all the check boxes there.
But, you know, I'm alive, I'm happy.
That's beautiful. Lezlie, I want to thank you so much for being on this.
Thank you so much,
What a
Bryan.
pleasure. I can't wait to have you back doing some shows together soon. So
Yes, thank you.
So guys, everybody, please look at leslieharrison.net, sign up with her on social media, find out when her album is going to be out. Check out Jazz Gallery for their streaming shows. WBGO Sunday mornings at 6 a.m. I'm sure all of you are wide awake and just primed to hear some jazz. So that's the time to do it. Check out the show, but I'm sure it'll be streaming as well on WBGO.org. Once again, I want to thank our sponsors here, Bank of America, Hudson County Office of Cultural Affairs and Tourism Development. And please check out RiverviewJazz.org for to see what we're all up to. And I want to thank our video editor, Rod Holliday, our designer, Maurizio Massi. The theme song is composed by yours truly. And please wait till the next episode of DownTime. We want to thank Lezlie Harrison. Thank you all very much.